Hello everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those that are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please do not forget to hit on the like button. The wife of the late Usifo Ataga, that Super TV boss, speaking up at his funeral. And as you know that the funeral, the remains of the murdered CEO of Super TV, Usifo Ataga, laid will be laid to rest on Friday, July 30th, 2021. And the burial is scheduled for the Ebony Vault, Ikoyi, Lagos, after a funeral service at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Catholic Church, Victoria Island, Lagos. A service of songs was held in his honor at the Incubator in Victoria Island today, July 30th. Speaking at the service of songs, his mother, Sylvia Ataga, said her beloved son, who was generous to a fault, died an undeserved death. She said her son was denied the joy of seeing a project he had spent over 7 years working on. And these were her words. She said this: God knows he did not deserve what those people did to him. My heart bleeds to him anytime I remember. He was generous to a fault. It took death for me to know how loved he was. He has been robbed of the joy of seeing a project he spent 7 years working on. He has been denied the joy of seeing his children grow up, go to the university, get married and make him a grandfather. These are wishes of every parent. His love for his children cannot be quantified. No way. The distraught mother said this. It's so painful. Imagine that you're burying your own child. No parent wish to bury their own children. It's always a prayer and the wish of every parent for their own children to bury them at old age when it's time. Burying your child, and in the case of Usifo Ataga, his death pained a lot of people, because of the way the guy died. Describing the way his body looked, describing the gruesome attack on his body would tell you that this man went through pains before he passed away. No matter how bad someone is or no matter what the person has done, killing someone like this is not something that anyone should wish any human being to go through. According to the description of his corpse, his hands were tied, so tight that the rope lines penetrated through his skin. He was stabbed multiple times. And why did all of this happen to this man? So it was just a planned murder. It wasn't something that happened as a result of a coincidence, no. And with what the mom is saying, that her son was generous to a fault. And even if we can recall one of the things Chidima said during her interview, that's the lady who has been held for his murder. She said that when she told late Ataga that he had not done anything for her, he gave her his ATM card and said, go and take whatever you want. Some people would have given her the amount she should withdraw. But imagine a billionaire giving someone his ATM card, withdraw whatever you want. So which means whatever amount she takes out of his account, he wasn't even bothered about that so long as she met her needs. And that's why a lot of people had come out with so many words to attack the lady Chidima, who was part of his killing. Why would you kill someone like this? Some people had even made some comments like, this is a man you should have kept to help you, whom you know that would even help you in the long run. You would have gains from him. It's just like a bank account. You would keep one side. That was a comment a lot of people were actually making, that he should have been for keeps and not killing him. that now you have killed him, whatever you should have even gained from him has been cut off. Even the one you think you have acquired has been taken away from you. So it's just a game of loss for this lady and all of those that participated in the killing of this young man. He was a young man. So that's why his mom is so pained right now. His family members are so pained because this guy still young and has achieved a whole lot that he was still working to achieve even more. But unfortunately, he never lived to see all his plans come to fulfillment. He never lived to see his children grow, and that is another painful thing again. For a parent not to be there to watch your kids grow, for you not to be part of their growth, for you not to be part of their achievement. It's another painful thing that his kids are now watching to see their father buried at a very young age. On her part, the widow of the deceased, that's Brenda, said finding out about his demise was the worst news ever. She said she had looked forward to seeing the look he had on his face if he had walked into the surprise birthday she had planned for him. Oh, this is so painful. This is really, really painful. Imagine that she even had a surprise birthday party for his 50th birthday, which was the same week he was killed. He was killed on Monday, and on Friday that same week was his 50th birthday. And his wife had some words to also say as well. These were her words. C4, you had a heart of gold, a pure heart. You were kind, patient, humble, fun, loving. You could intrigue a room for hours. Such positive energy. Finding out of your demise was the worst news imaginable. My mind had raced through all possibilities of where you were and what could have happened, but death wasn't an option. The girls and I were looking forward to seeing you, to celebrate your milestone. I had imagined how surprised you would be when you walked in to see a place set up for you. I had imagined the infectious smile. Now I'm yet to comprehend the stark reality that your life was cut short in your prime. At a renaissance of all you had toiled for, I'm lost for words. These were the exact words that came out from the wife's mouth. So touching and painful. So you can see that this man was just lured to his death. He may have had something to do with the Chidima lady, but notwithstanding, this was something planned by Chidima and her fellow conspirators in this horrible act. Even till death, his wife is saying very good things about him. The same words that came from his mother's mouth are quite similar to what his wife is saying. His mom just concluded her son was generous to a fault. And the wife broke everything down and described this man as someone that can turn a hot room into a cool room with his presence, describing him as someone who is humble, patient, kind. So for his wife to say all of these good things doesn't mean she was making it up, because the same words are coming out from his mother's mouth. It's really heartbreaking to see your loved one go like this, and calculating in their minds and in their heads how their son and husband and father suffered before he died. If only a word of communication was sent out before he died, at least someone would have come to his rescue, because he didn't die on that same Sunday. Instead, it was the next day that he passed away. So if only he sensed that something was going to happen to him, I'm sure he would have sent out words for help. But it's to show that it was planned. They had taken his phone, switched off the phone. He didn't have access, because even the workers were actually watching out for him, and his communication access was already cut short and there was no way they could have reached him. Otherwise, this man's life would have been spared. And if only he knew what was happening that same Sunday, he wouldn't have still been there. But you can never tell or you can never predict what will happen the next minute. It's such a painful way that this man has passed away. Their two daughters, Eboselulu and Emota, described their late father as an amazing man who always listened to their problems. And recall that Ataga's body was found in an apartment in Lekki, Lagos, Nigeria, a few days after he was declared missing by his family. Police later arrested his mistress, Chidinma Ojukwu, a student of the University of Lagos, who confessed to stabbing him multiple times, which led to his death. She later retracted her statement, saying she went out of the apartment where they lodged to get some items and returned to find him in a pool of his own blood. But the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, that's Hakeem Odumosu, at a press briefing in June said further investigations shows that there were some conspirators in the murder case, and which they have already started picking some people. And if you could go back to the previous video I had posted, some guy who was identified as a Yahoo boy, who was the one that helped her to start taking out the money from late Ataga's account, was also mentioned, but the guy was on the run and they didn't want to give his full identity for security reasons. Also, if you could recall in some of the videos I had posted too, Chidinma now started making a different comment, claiming that she did not kill Ataga. Meanwhile, in the live interview she had that was posted on national television, where she had made a confession as to how she murdered late Usifo Ataga. Even though from her own description, it didn't tally with the numerous stab wounds they found on his body. She gave few number of stabs she had given to him, but when they found his body, it was a different thing entirely. He was tied and then stabbed multiple times. She didn't mention tying him and nothing of such. She did not say that at all. Well, it's still very painful as to how this young man passed away. Once again, may the soul of Usifo Ataga rest in peace, and may Almighty God console his entire family, friends, everybody that knew him. May God console them all. And it's such a pity that his kids are growing without their father. And you see that the wife is such a woman that held her husband in high esteem. She still talked good about him despite the way he was killed and despite where he was killed. That didn't stop the wife. And we know from the onset, it was the wife who sent DSS all the way from Abuja to come and find out what had happened to her husband. And that was where they were able to trace Chidinma, who was part of the killer and all that. And they were able to discover how he also died. She wasn't even ready to know whether he died with another lady or all of that, which is what some women may concentrate on rather than concentrating on finding out how the husband died or what led to his death. They would conclude and ignore it. Well, he died in the arms of another woman. That is his own business. He called that for himself, and I don't care. Whatever is the burial arrangement, they'll arrange his burial and that. But the wife was just so focused on what led to her husband's death. I'm sure the husband may not have been a man that is known to be with women up and down. Otherwise, the wife wouldn't have gone to the extent she had gone with regards to finding out how her husband died. And if not for her pushing forward and his family members pushing forward, his parents and all others who pushed forward to check, no one would know that it was a murder case. It would have been painted as just a random death where someone took a lady into the apartment and he ended up dead, then it would have been a closed chapter. But his family member knew whom he really was. He wasn't that kind of a person, and that was why they had to dig deep. And eventually, they found out that this man was just lured to his death. It was a planned murder. The question is, who would want such a man dead? For some people, they would want to arrest or kidnap them and then take money from them. But this one, it was both. They wanted him dead, and at the same time, they wanted his money. It's such a pity that he went through death like this, or he died in the arms of someone that he might have seen as a friend, but unknown to him that this person was just out for her own selfish gain. And whatever happened that made her to conspire with other people to kill him, best known to them. However, investigations are still on at the moment, and whatever updates they have regarding his death, you will definitely be updated. And whatever happens regarding his further conspirators, you definitely be updated. And we know that late Mr. Taga's death is one of the deaths that had made rounds, and it lasted for a very long time. It's not like some of the deaths that you just hear and it's died down there. No, all because his family members were bent on finding out the real truth as to what led to his death, which they have been able to do that, and they are still on it until they get to the final stop of this issue. Friends, what do you all think about this with what the mom has said, and also his wife, whom people will think that the woman should have ignored him or should have ignored whatever transpired to his death? Instead, she was one of those of the major person with his parents and his family members who had to go further to dig the real truth as to what led to his death. Please, if you have anything to say, you could put that down at the comment section. Once again, may God console his parents, entire family members, his wife, and his kids that had been left behind without a father. May God console them all. Friends, thank you for coming up today. Please don't forget to hit on the like button. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you. God bless you all.